to another live film with Shaman's YouTube channel. Let's get into it. Heavy D, the rapper that we couldn't hate. Heavy D brought love and happiness to the hip hop culture. That's why he was the rapper that you couldn't hate. You couldn't hate or diss Heavy D. He made his debut with The Boys in 1987 with Living Large. The album was a commercial success, featuring 3 hit singles like Mr. Big Stuff, The Overweight Lovers in the House, Don't You Know. As a whole, the album was considered a classic. The next album was Big Time in 1989 that featured 3 hit singles. We got Our Own Thing, Somebody For Me, Girls, They Love Me. In 1991, Peaceful Journey was the 3rd album featuring songs like Now That We Found Love, Don't Curse, and Is It Good To You. In 1993-1994, the group released Blue Funk and Nothing But Love. Blue Funk was certified gold, while Nothing But Love was 2 times platinum. Overall, Heavy D created a formula of his own that led to gold and platinum records. His romantic raps resulted in golden age hits. Heavy D was hip-hop's version of Luther Vandross. He was hip-hop's version of Luther Vandross, and that's true. He was like a Luther Vandross of rap. You know, big guy, heavy, overweight level and all sort of stuff. He was lyrical, and he was able to have success. But he's underrated, though. You talk about the greatest rappers, they're not gonna talk about Heavy D. Heavy D did his thing, man. He died way too soon, way too young. I think like 15 years ago he passed. He only was like 44 years old. So he wasn't, he was a young man, way too soon. So I had to really put him on the list when I did this book. Chapter 23, Heavy D, the rapper that you couldn't hate. You couldn't hate Heavy D. You couldn't hate Dougie Fresh or Curtis Blow. There's some rappers that you could not really dislike because of what they represented in music. And I think Heavy D is one of those guys that you couldn't hate or diss. He's also on the Self-Destruction record. Had a really classic verse on that one. Let me look that up before I close out. And he gets some great stuff, man. Heavy D. Heavy D was the man, He did his thing, man. He was one of the best artists at that time in the late 80s. As good as Daddy Kane, as good as Rakim, just as good as Chuck D. Kool G Rap. He's just as good as those guys. Heavy D was a great artist, man. He did some great stuff. Heavy D was definitely one of the all-time greats. But I think he's underrated in terms of what he did as an artist. I'm trying to look up that verse he said on Self-Destruction. Heavy D. His lyrics, just gonna read his lyrics. All right, let's get into it. Get to the verse by Heavy D. Here it is. Hey, yo, here's the situation. Idiocy, nonsense, violence, not a good policy. Therefore, we must ignore fighting and fussing. Heavy's at the door, so there'll be no bum rushing. Let's get together because we're falling apart. Heard a brother shot another. It broke my heart. I don't understand the difficulty people. Love your brother. Treat him as an equal. They call us animals. I don't agree with them. I'm proven wrong. But right is what you're proving them. Take heed before I lead through what I'm saying, or we be all on our knees praying. That's from a classic verse from Heavy D off the song Self-Destruction. That's from the Stop the Violence movement. Right, so that's it, man. I'm done with Heavy D. Be back at 4 o'clock with number 22. Till then, talk to you soon.